What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome to the only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, future Jiu-Jitsu world champion, Angel Ortega. A lot of stuff to talk about this week. We got UFC 283 to go over, as well as a boatload of news. Before we talk about that, as always, I want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsors of the show, Rogue Energy and ELYXR. Code Soundoff for both of those to get 10% off of each of their respective websites. Rogue Energy, great for getting amped up for the work day or going to the gym or whatever whatever the purpose you use it for. Some people use it for gaming, stuff along those lines. Personally, I use it to get ready to go to the gym. However, ELYXR is the exact opposite of that. If you want something to calm your ass down, ELYXR has the best Delta 8, 9, and 10 products, as well as HHC and other stuff on their website. They have a large selection, so go ahead and check them out. And it's code Soundoff for both of them. 10% off. Last Saturday night, from the Genesee Arena in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, UFC 283, Angel. And it was, let's be honest, dude, first pay-per-view of the year. There were bad moments, but overall, a pretty fun night of fights, man. In the main event, we wanted to find out if Jamal Hill was kind of for real. I mean, we know that Glover Teixeira, former champion, we know his age, and kind of going into it that he's coming off a loss. But with all that going even against Glover, we kind of figured he would win. We figured he had the grappling advantage. On the feet, it would be competitive. But, dude, I think the only way to just to put it is we were wrong about Jamal Hill. Sweet Dreams goes out there and dominates, winning unanimous decision 50-44 across the board. Glover had his moments, even in the fifth round. He got mount, nearly started going for some arm triangles, stuff like that. In the end, though, Jamal survived on the ground, got his way back to the feet, and on the feet, dude, he just busted up Glover, who looked like the fucking Terminator at the end of this thing. Give me your thoughts on ultimately his win and Jamal Hill being and new, at least for the moment, the UFC's light heavyweight champion.
I mean, first of all, congrats to Jamal Hill, right? We gotta give credit where credit is due, as always. Look, at the end of the day, the other person we have to give credit to is Glover Teixeira. For 43 years old, man, Josh, he gave it everything he fucking could. I mean, you could have not asked more out of that man than what he gave on that night. Super tough. I mean, there was multiple moments where it seemed like he was hurt, he was compromised, he was close to maybe being out. No, he's stuck in it, man. Time in and time out. And a little heartbreaking, but something, Glover had his moments. There was moments where Jamal kind of seemed like he took some heavy shots. He kind of had to take a step back. You had him moving a little bit backwards and moving side to side laterally to try to get out of potentially what could have been some danger. Look, who knows? Maybe this fight wasn't that far from being a different result. Obviously, the results that we got, it is what it is. It happened. It was a good performance out of Jamal Hill. We saw the takedown defense was effective, which going forward kind of makes some matchups interesting now because of guys like Magomed Ankalaev, Jan Blachowicz, who's not a takedown guy, but on top he's heavy and will lay on you and can do some stuff. Anthony Smith, he has a little solid jiu-jitsu game, and obviously and like we've seen, like I said, now we've seen one side of Jamal Hill's game, and we've seen the other side coming up. It seems like he's a complete fighter. It's just gonna be who can put the puzzle together to take him out.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of people to take him out, I mean, that light heavyweight division, dude, we heard Yuri Prochazka. Did you see his call out video, Angel? Did you see it?
Was it him like in the snowy woods? I think
it was him in the snowy woods saying, quote, "I'm coming."
That shit kind of goes
hard.
That shit goes hard on it.
That's going to be a funny reaction video to use on Twitter. But yeah, man, I mean, we think about that being next. I mean, obviously we heard that Yuri was going to be out of action for anywhere from like a year to a year and a half. Instead, there's rumors that he might be back as early as July, which, I mean, obviously we've seen like Tony Ferguson do so. That sounds like Tony Ferguson shit after he tore his ACL and came back in like 9 months. But yeah, man, I mean, what do you thought? Do you think that's the fight to make next, or do you think the UFC should, in the matter of fairness, give that nod to Magomed Ankalaev? After all, he did probably deserve the nod. It's a close fight,
I mean, it was, Josh, but the official former champion, and technically,
never lost the title. Yeah.
Never lost the title. Junior Prochazka, I mean, the returning champion should come back and get a shot at his title, right? I mean, Return of the King, right, Josh?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, look, I think that if Yuri's not healed, I think the Ankalaev fight is the way to go. But
yeah, I mean, you're not wrong there. That's a pretty safe direction to go. I mean, Josh, but there's another guy that is really available right now on the undercard. I'm not saying he deserves it, but it could be a fun matchup. I'm not saying he'll win, but his name might be I think Johnny Walker. And I don't know. He's available. Got pretty unscathed. Could be a decent turnaround. Maybe give Jamal Hill a quick title defense. I don't know. Just some ideas out there for the UFC.
I mean, that could be fun. I'd be down with that. I mean, I think right now this division, they're in a weird state because the UFC's kind of let it know that, like, okay, look, we really don't give a fuck about this division. Like, we're throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. So I think anything can happen next. But I do want to go ahead and before we keep on going, I do think we got to acknowledge Glover Teixeira. 43 years old, former champion, 2 losses in a row, calling it quits. I mean, what do you think on his retirement? Ultimately, the fact that he unfortunately had to retire in front of an empty crowd because the Brazilian fans left early. But besides that, I mean, ultimately, thoughts on Glover Teixeira hanging it up and some of your favorite memories of the Brazilian legend.
I mean, God, it's so sad because it's been on the other end of so many highlights too, right? But look, man, I mean, we saw this coming. We knew it was going to happen in relatively quick time. We knew it was going to happen within the next 3-4 fights. Kind of for a while now, and look, I think he lives on a good note. He lives on obviously it's a low, but it's also a high in some ways, he got a lot of respect, a lot of love from the MMA community. I think you can't put him down for the performance he had and for everything he did and the effort he put in. I mean, thank you for all the memories, thank you for all the times. I mean, Josh, he is one of the greatest people to ever compete at this weight class. He's one of the most legendary names to ever be in this weight class. It is very sad though that it took him so long to get to the UFC, not necessarily the title because of visa issues and all that, but that's just how history plays out. But in the end, he still got his chance at the title, won it, held it for a bit, gave us some banger of fights there near the end, some amazing performances, and he had a sick little run there at the end, man. I mean, that whole run leading up to the title was insane. Some impressive performances. I mean, one performance that will forever stick in my mind is that fucking Anthony Smith fight. Mm-hmm. Anthony Smith going to his corner and saying his teeth, they're falling out. I mean, that's, how could you forget that shit, Right?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say my favorite moment for Glover, and that's a good pick, dude. I remember watching that fight. It was during the pandemic. I think it was only the second card the UFC had done since they were back. It was like a Wednesday card too, which made the beatdown even more eerie, if I remember correctly. It was either that one or the Overeem, Walt Harris card, which that also was very, very eerie given all the circumstances in that one. But for Glover, my favorite moment, dude, I mean, you got to go ahead and give him the title win against Jan. I mean, that was because you and I both were so heavy on the Glover train, and he was such a huge underdog. Nobody expected him to get it done. Everybody was, for lack of a better term, on Jan's nuts after he beat Israel Adesanya. And I was like, look, man, mattress makes fights, and I know that you're on the same page. We both picked him, but huge underdog goes into fucking Abu Dhabi and goes and does the damn thing in basically flawless fashion. I mean, that fight wasn't even close, and for him to do that at 42, you don't see that. That just does not happen in MMA. And look, you also got to go ahead and fucking give props because in MMA, and I understand Glover went out and it was a tough loss, and he definitely felt the pain on Monday morning, but I'm very, very happy that they let him go out there. I know there's some people like, oh, they should stop the fight, and that was after the 4th round. They didn't. He went out there, he got a takedown, and he had some moments, and he almost showed why he's the fucking one of the best to ever fight in this division. You know what I mean? At 43, I had so much hope when he got that takedown and got him out. I'm like, oh shit, like he's gonna do it, And he didn't. But the fact that we thought that he did after being annihilated for 4 rounds, that's to go over to shared experience. So, yeah, I mean,
I don't know, Josh. I had a 3-2 going into 5th.
I mean, it was just Glover got robbed. That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy, dude. I had Glover 10-8 in the first round.
Glover 10-8. Yeah, I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, I actually scored the thing a draw.
Wow, man. We might need a rematch.
I think we do, but yeah, man. I mean, anyways, I mean, as far as Glover goes, full props, incredible career. And could not be any happier for him to be able to finally hang it up and for him to kind of go out on his own terms. Because like I said, and this is something I've always said on the show, is like, dude, most MMA fighters leave getting really fucked up. And even though he lost in this one, it's a performance he can at least be proud of and be like, you know what, I stayed in there against a young lion, somebody who's like 15 years younger than me. This fight was short notice too, if you guys remember correctly. Got made like 4 weeks ago, so. Yeah, I mean, you got to give him complete fucking props. And
it was almost, Josh, it was almost Luke Rockhold-esque,
As I said, yeah, to an extent. A little bit different because I think.
I mean, the title was on the line. Glover was kind of in a better place in his career.
Well, yeah, Glover. We expected Glover to win, and this is just an unfortunate beatdown that we did not expect. I think everybody expected Rockhold to get fucked up, and whenever he didn't, it was like, oh, wow, like, holy fuck, like he's actually got, he's got it left,
Got that dog in him.
He's got that dog in him. And we'll be talking about Luke Rockhold in a couple minutes. But, yeah, I mean, hell of a win in the main event. Any other final thoughts as we move on from this one?
No, I mean, we talked a lot about Glover there, kind of rally it all back in a little bit. I mean, Jamal Hill, man, I kind of mentioned it a little bit before, but, impressive performance, man. I just can't wait to see him fight again. I'm super excited to see what the champ can do. Whoever it may be against, obviously, I'm assuming obviously on a pay-per-view, I wonder where we'll be at and how later it'll be in a year, if it'll be Ankalaev or it will be Yuri. I think no matter what though, I think with what we've seen out of Jamal Hill, Josh, I think we can admit that every matchup is interesting at this point, There is no, this guy's kind of, no, I'd rather see this. I think everybody against Jamal Hill is interesting.
I agree. Because, like I said earlier, there's no other way to put it. We were wrong about him. I did not expect him to put on the performance that he did. And, you gotta give full props because going to Brazil and beat a legend like Glover Teixeira, and beat him in the fashion like that.
Also, we didn't even say this, Josh. First Contender Series alumni UFC champ winner. Our first UFC champ from the Contender Series.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, that's obviously history as well, and, I believe he was the third one to get it cracked, right? Because it was, Alex Perez and then Talia Santos and then Jamal Hill. So, kind of surprised it took this long, honestly. I mean, what season are they on now? 6, 7?
I mean,
couple of Brazilian Contender Series in there too.
Well, the crazy thing is, Jamal Hill hasn't even been around that long compared to some of the other people.
Yeah. True. Yeah, I've kind of, Contender Series, they're not actually looking for talent. They're kind of just looking for bodies, so it makes sense that it takes that long, but,
granted though, I feel like in those earlier days, Josh, they didn't have an issue getting more project fighters, you know what I mean? Guys who knew they were going to take a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
Where now they kind of get a lot of guys who kind of have a pretty established record. Like, they're going to be,
Yeah, they're just, at this point, they're just looking for people to put on cards.
Yeah. Like,
I don't really, yeah.
I mean, we had guys like Chidi and Giaquani who came to the contender. I mean, Josh, he could have signed.
He had like a 5-year run in Bellator, so.
I think Andre Fiallo too.
Yeah.
What's another one off the top of my head I mean, they wanted the guy from fucking ACA or fucking or KS, I can't even think, or ACB fight who's like 25-0 on the contender. He's like, come on, dude. That guy doesn't have to fight on contender.
Yeah, right? Fucking stupid. But anyways, I mean, we should probably move on to the co-main event because, dude, Brandon Moreno getting it done.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ending the rivalry with the second win. We're no longer tied at 1-1-1. Brandon Moreno. Yeah, he won the war, so to speak, getting a TKO win after the end of the third. Look, man, this was dominance. I think this rivalry was weird for a couple of reasons. I think one of it is just because, fuck, dude, like, there were 4 fights. There were 2 of them where it looked like these two were like the greatest flyweights on the planet, and then there were 2 other nights where Davison figured it looked like he didn't even belong in the same fucking cage with Brandon Moreno. And that's what's so funny. It's kind of bizarre, but look, dude, yeah, full props to the Assassin Baby getting it done. Give me your thoughts, man.
I mean, look, we got to talk about the origin of this fight, Josh. Now that we can talk about it as a whole, because the fucking quadrilogy has concluded, right? And like we always mention, Josh, and this is something you brought up multiple times on the show. People forget how that first fight happened and how we got the second fight. The fight was, Davison was winning early on. He was hurting Brandon. And then, bam, funking some illegal blows, some nut shots. I can't even remember. Eye pokes, whatever the fuck it was.
I believe it was a kick to the dick. Good old dick kick.
Yeah, dude, some nut shots. And after that fucking point taken away, Brandon comes back in the last 2 rounds, makes it a draw. Boom, we get a second fight. The first one was such a banger. Second fight comes around, Brandon looks like the fucking greatest fucking 125er on the planet in that moment. Dude. He fucking finishes Davison for a grade. It would seem like an impossible task at the time. Fucking, yeah, he beating him in every aspect of the fight game. Grappling, a stand up, everything, man. The third fight comes around. Adjustments come in out of Davison. Brandon was a little too cocky for his own good. Fourth fight, we got, and I said this on the show, Josh, and fucking, I don't know what's gonna edit it. Someone fucking edited a clip of me saying in the fucking last show that we need to see what we saw out of Brandon Moreno, what we saw in that second fight in the fourth fight. And that's what we got. We got that second fight, Brandon Moreno, in the fourth fight. And that's why he won this fucking fight, man. He was bringing the fucking action. His stand-up was good. He was winning grappling exchanges. And, he was also losing some too, don't get me wrong. But they were going back and forth. It was competitive. I'm not going to take away from Davison's capabilities. But yeah, we saw what was possible. And it was fucking, it was impressive. And, obviously the shot came in, it caused damage. And hey, I don't know if you, Josh, knew in the moment, but as soon as I knew, as soon as he fucking said he got eye poked, I'm like, no, that was the knuckle. That was the knuckle. I could just tell. And then once the fight hit the ground and he started going at, I think he had gone into, what was it, side control? I can't even remember, but the fight ended up on the ground. He started hitting him. I saw the eye shut. I'm like, oh yeah, they're going to call this shit.
Mm-hmm. You know what's interesting to me is you ran through the history of the series right there, and there's one small thing you forgot that kind of, it's so crazy to think about. The only reason we got the greatest rivalry in flyweight history, the only reason we got 4 fights between 2 of the most entertaining fighters to ever compete at 125 pounds is because, Angel, do you remember? Brandon Royval dislocated his shoulder in the title eliminator against Moreno. And that halted the fight, and they called it off because of his injury, and Brandon Moreno got the fucking title shot.
And I mean, on top of that, Josh, fucking Davison beat the shit out of Alex Perez.
Beat the dog piss. I mean, Jesus Christ. That one, I remember being so excited for that fight, too, because Alex was coming off like a really good win. I can't even think of what it was, but yeah, it wasn't even close. But yeah, dude, that's fucking crazy to think about. And it's actually kind of funny. I kind of hate to throw myself into this. I was looking up Brandon Moreno's I was looking at his wiki. And I wanted to make sure that Brandon Royval, because on his wiki it just says, he beat Royval by TKO. I couldn't remember. I was like, he did get injured in that one, right? So I pulled up like the fucking source article that they sourced on Wikipedia. It's me. it's just.
Oh, it's you?
Yeah, it's me. It's just.
Wow, Josh, how fucking cocky are you?
I did a fucking double take. I'm like, wait a minute. But yeah, I mean, he fucking. Yeah, man, just crazy thing about it. Props to Brandon Moreno, and just it's crazy thing about the kind of the butterfly effect. If Brandon Royval did not get injured in the Battle of Brandons, just think about crazy things would be. But
I mean, who knows how the fight goes? I mean, because I think there was another round left, right? Or did that end in the first?
It happened like in the opening, not the opening seconds of the first round. It happened in the final seconds of the first round, and they called it off when he went to his corner.
That's what it was, yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, just crazy. But anyways, man, I mean, full props to him. I don't think there's a whole lot to say about this one outside of the fact that, dude, I am as happy as I was with Brandon Moreno. I'm so fucking psyched about an Alexander Pantoja trilogy. That's the crazy thing about this for Moreno. He's going from one fucking guy to the other guy. You know what I mean? He got submitted, and he also got decisioned by Pantoja.
Well, the crazy thing is he has a second guy after that, too.
Who's the second guy after that?
Brandon Royval.
Oh, shit, you're right, because Brandon's on a good... Yeah.
His guys are lined up. If Brandon Royval doesn't lose another fight, he has the fucking title shot after Pantoja, because we know Pantoja's the next fight, and this is the hardest fight of Brandon, obviously, and we've seen it on paper, of Brandon Moreno's career.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you know what the crazy thing is, Josh? If Brandon loses, he can get a rematch. So these guys could give us a quad trilogy too.
Yeah.
Because this is their
Hey,
trilogy.
look, let's not go too far.
This is their trilogy fight, Josh. You didn't even think about that, did you?
No, I didn't. Yeah, let's not go too far, man.
I mean, they'll label it as the second since the first one was on the Ultimate Fighter.
Dude, you know, I brought up Pantoja. The instant thought that I had whenever Figgy said he got eye poked, I'm like, bro, Pantoja about to fucking murder somebody if this fight's ruled a no contest. He might go in the cage himself. It's just like
Dude, how do you think the UFC would have felt if they had to make a fifth fight with these guys?
I think it's been pretty clear the UFC does not give a fuck about the rest of the flyweight division, so I don't think they'd care.
I love the flyweight division.
The flyweight division is my probably top 3 favorite divisions. So I think it's in the top 3.
You know, for the 200th episode, we should rank our divisions and by most favorite to least favorite. Not talking shit about the bottom division.
The fighters themselves, but
Yeah, no.
It's a good idea.
For instance, just ones that we think are the most enjoyable.
It's a good idea. We should. I was thinking about either doing that for 200, or we can do a flyweight fantasy draft. I think flyweight fantasy would be interesting.
Women and men.
Ooh. Let's talk about this off air. But regardless.
Well, it's because it's like one of the few that you could do that.
Yeah. We'll talk about this off air because I think that we'll figure it out. There's some good shit we can do. But anyways, to go back to the co-main event, yeah, hell of a win, man. Excited to see what happens next from Moreno. Happy for Pantoja to finally get that shot.
We got to talk about Davison, Josh. Moving up to 135.
Yeah, we got to talk about that real quick because obviously I'm interested to see what's going to happen there because Davison's in a terrible position. Really fucking bad one in my opinion. I mean, you got a 35-year-old guy, and even though you're moving up to bantamweight because the cut's getting harder because you're, older and now you're fighting a flyweight. I don't know, man. I feel like a bantamweight, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough for him.
Who does he fight, though? I think that's, the more important question, because you can't give him,
Song Yadong.
You think he fights Song Yadong? I feel like that's too low, man. Well,
okay, a rising contender against the former champion coming off of a loss? Moving up a weight class? I mean, it's a really good test for both.
Oh, dude, I was thinking, Dom Cruz. I ain't even going to lie to you.
That's a good pick, too. That's a good pick.
I mean, they're right next to each other. I mean, I guess I can't really hate on your pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
Rob Font at number 6, Josh. I mean, that's another one coming. Isn't Rob Font coming off a win? Or is it a loss?
Rob Font just knocked out Dana Jackson, yeah.
Yeah. As I say, I'm pretty sure he's coming off a win.
Interesting.
So, I mean, Rob Font's not another bad shout. I mean, Font's a hell of a fight. Pat, you're telling me Davis Ferreira, Rob Font doesn't get your cock moving?
Anyway, so next up on the card,
you're gonna do me like that, Josh,
Gilbert Burns.
Josh, I will get us canceled right now on this show.
I'd prefer if you didn't.
Josh, wait till I see you next time, Josh. Wait till I see you next time.
Oh, you'll be fucking none. Anyways, Gilbert Burns defeating Neil Magny via arm triangle choke. I mean, we kind of knew going into this one, man, that there was a very good chance that Gilbert could just show up and kind of wreck house because Neil's kind of getting. Obviously, Neil's up there because they're around the same age, but I don't know, man. There's levels at 170, and Gilbert Burns showed that he's a level above Neil Magny. Not even close, man. What did you think?
Impressive. It was quick. I mean, I thought it was going to be a very drawn out fight. I thought it could potentially go to a decision, but no, that was not the case at all, man. I mean, Gilbert Burns just came out here and submitted this motherfucker. In the words of Eddie Bravo.
Yeah, he did go out there and submit that motherfucker. Super, pretty. I mean, honestly, dude, I feel like we all kind of expected Gilbert Burns' win. I did not expect it to be that fucking lopsided. Super impressed. Do
you know it had been 4 or 5 years since Gilbert had gotten a submission? Something crazy like that? There was something they brought up on the broadcast.
Yeah, it's actually been a while. Yeah.
Especially for a guy. I mean, look, we're talking jiu-jitsu, tournaments and shit that he's done. I mean, obviously a different story, but as far as just MMA in general.
Oh, fuck me, dude. It was the last time he got a sub. It was at lightweight. He wasn't even a welterweight yet.
Yeah, 2019. Mike Davis.
Who?
He's killing it.
He's killing it right now. Yeah. I feel like I haven't heard him in a minute, but he actually fought in October, so never mind.
He's on a little 3-5 win streak, yeah.
I forgot he beat Alexei Kunchenko. That's a guy that I forgot existed too.
Kunchenko.
I'm so excited for that motherfucker.
I'm so excited for him to fight in PFL, and that never's gonna happen ever.
Damn. Anyways, man, yeah, so great win by Gilbert Burns, man, and he said that he wants Colby Covington.
You call that Kobe? Jorge? Not Jorge anymore?
He said he's done with Jorge. He's tried to fight Jorge.
Who's Jorge gonna fight, Josh?
I mean, Connor?
Josh is like Leon Edwards.
No, I mean, Jorge's in the weirdest position because I think, like, most people don't realize, I think he's going to get, like, I don't want to say a really easy matchup. He's going to get either a big matchup or he's going to get a tune-up next. Because the UFC, before his fight with Colby, they gave him a lot of money. They gave him, like, a really big deal. Like, I think it was, like, a 6-fight deal that made him, like, at the time, the second highest paid behind Conor.
God damn.
So they got more stuff to do.
So it's Conor, Jones, Gamebred?
From my understanding, yeah.
Obviously, we don't have those actual numbers, but we could only assume.
No, I mean, if you look at what's popping in the welterweight division right now, who we got ranked, man? We got Masvidal's 11, Chiesa's 12, Magny's 13, Pahea 14. Yeah, I don't.
Dude, why don't they? You know what they should do? Chiesa, fucking Gamebred rematch at welterweight. Let's just run that shit back.
See, I'd actually be down for that, but the issue is I don't think most people would.
You know, I mean, I guess the issue is because the thing is, you gotta have Jorge on a pay-per-view, and he's gonna have to co-main event if it's not for a title.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm telling you. So that's what I'm saying. They're close in the rankings. There's some history there. You know, the press conference will be good. Some shit talk. You know what I mean? I don't know. Or Luke and Masvidal, I mean, you know they're going to bring the action. You know they're going to try to fucking knock each other out. You know Luke will feed into the stand-up. I don't know. You know, we could always do BMF, NMF, you know, nicest motherfucker, Wonder Boy. You know, Wonder Boy would be down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think there's options, you know. And I mean, if fucking Jorge wins that, number 6 ranking for Jorge, he jumps from 11 to 6. You could put that you could very easily put Wonder Boy, Jorge Masvidal co-main event on any fucking pay-per-view. I just gave the UFC 2 great fucking options. Hunter Campbell, call me, motherfucker. Call me.
Yeah, I think Aim just laid that out for you guys. I think you should go ahead and you guys should go ahead and give him a call, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm actually down for that. Like I said, I am down for that. I don't know if it'll happen because I think Chiesa is not necessarily a huge name. He's coming off a couple losses, and whenever you're at that, I don't know, man. I think Gamebred's the type of guy he's probably gonna want to fight another huge name. You know,
who is that?
I'd be cool if Chiesa gets a nod. Don't get me wrong, because Chiesa's a guy he's been around for a long time, never fought for a title, never gotten really a money fight. He's just kind of around, and I'd be down to see him get a high profile fight. You know.
Well, you know the best case scenario for Jorge is probably Leon losing and him fighting Leon.
Yeah, I think most people forget that they were actually scheduled to fight on the Poirier Oliveira card. So they definitely, I mean, people act like Masvidal's ducked him since then. No, they've tried to make that fight, just did not work out at times. So
I mean, I think that's the only way that fight's gonna happen nowadays.
Oh yeah, true. Well, but I saw Leon talk about it. He's like, I really hope he actually goes out there and wins a fight so we can fucking book it. You know, book it for the title because that'd be huge for me. You know, so.
Like I said, Josh, I mean, I think that the UFC really's got to think about options. I think the best option, if they really want to push Jorge to potentially get a title shot, is him fighting Wonder Boy, because Wonder Boy's 6, and he's 11.
You know, the possibility of him fighting Wonder Boy, I don't think that would go as well as you'd hope. You know, we already saw him get fucked up by Wonder Boy, and that was years ago when they were both closer to the primes.
I mean, shit, both of them are kind of out the door, so, I mean.
I don't know, we'll see. I could easily see him I could even see Masvidal getting somebody like Nick Diaz or something. Like a tune-up fight, you know? A tune-up against a big name, that's kind of rare, you know?
What I'm saying, though, but I just don't think those names make sense. I think, if you're going to do a big name, the one who makes the most sense is Conor, but outside of that, though, you got to give him, you don't have a lot of options, that's what I'm saying. Yeah? Yeah,
that's true.
So I'm telling you, I think Wonder Boy and Luke.
That's why I said he's in such a weird spot. You know?
Hey,
very weird spot.
That's why I gave the best possible fucking options, my guy.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if Mick gives you the call. And
well, that motherfucker better pay me, bro.
Yeah, I was about to say, he has to give you some fucking royalties, dude.
Josh, I'm fucking eating sage, drinking beers here in the fucking U.S. I want my fucking respect, Josh. Angel wants fucking money.
Angel wants money. So yeah, we'll see if that gets booked next. But anyways, man. Next up on the card, interesting fight. A lot of people upset about this one. Jessica Andrade beating the nearly murdering Lauren Murphy on pay-per-view.
This was sad, man, to watch, and was sad to read the fucking MMA Twitter too.
I think the worst part about this fight is that stylistically, we knew that this was almost definitely was going to happen, and
you could have bet your life on this fucking fight, dude. Like, I'm not trying to be mean to Lauren Murphy or anything.
I love Lauren Murphy a lot, dude. Like,
she's the definition of an awesome story, dude.
She's an awesome story, and she also has that fucking dog in her. And I even remember in the first round, like, they were like, "Oh, she's getting like they." By the way, I do think commentary was a little bit overdramatic.
They were
absolutely.
Dude, she got her own licks, and you gotta give her props. Like, I think people should rewatch. Like, yeah, she got tagged a lot, but there was moments where she traded with her in the exchange. She was getting hit, and she was hitting right back, dude.
Yeah, I was busy at the time, so I didn't watch this fight live. I just saw the reaction on Twitter, and then I watched it the next day, and I was like, oh, I expected a fucking Holloway Cater level beatdown. Instead, it was just Lauren.
It wasn't like super far from that either, though. You know what I mean?
No, and I think Andrade took her foot off the gas in the third too.
Yeah, I mean, if she would have, I think if she dropped her one time, we would have been like.
Yeah, but anyways, man, I mean, just this did not need to go on for as long as it did. Like I said, I think commentary was a little bit overdramatic, but they were correct in the assessment. The fact that this fight was not going to change, like that, there was no way for. I mean, I'm not saying no way, but like
I'm not trying to call out the commentary, right? Paul Federer, John Anik, Joe. They didn't have Joe Rogan, did they?
No, they had a DC.
They had a DC. Wasn't the biggest fan of this commentary, dude. Not gonna lie, I was a bit unsatisfied, if I'm going to be honest with you.
These days, I'm generally upset at commentary.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I just thought it was genuinely bad.
It was. It was very bad, yeah.
I'm not trying to be a dick, right? Obviously, these guys have fought. The two of the guys have fought. John Anik been around the game a long time. I don't think John Anik is bad because he's color commentary, right?
I think John Anik is the most consistently good person on as a part of the booth, honestly.
Yeah, so.
It's not him that I ever have an issue with. It's generally DC and Rogan, and sometimes they'll get too much in their own heads and they'll just they'll focus on narratives and not talk about what the fuck is actually happening in front of them.
Yeah, no, like I said, I was a little. I feel like we need a new face. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I agree. I've wanted this for a while.
I love to see Anthony Smith do commentary. I know he does analysis, but I'd love to see him try to do commentary. I know that's obviously hard. He's an active fighter. I think Bisping has actually gotten really good at commentary, dude.
I've always been a fan of Bisping. Yeah.
I look. I'll be honest, Josh. For a long time, I wasn't always the biggest fan. But
fair.
But in recent times, though, with kind of like my dissatisfaction, it's gotten better. I honestly think the best combo right now might be Felder, Bisping, and Anik.
Yeah, I agree.
I honestly think they should give Senko the shot, dude. I like Senko's commentary. She's very smart. She's very analytical. She she says a lot of smart stuff. I honestly think she deserves a shot at the desk. I'd love to see her with a Paul Felder, Anik, and herself set up. I think that'd be a really nice team. I'm not gonna lie. I think she would only work with those people though. Maybe Rogan. I think Rogan, and Anik would do, but I feel like a little bit would be missing there. I don't know, but I don't think her, Bisping, or her and Cruz and Anik would be like my most favorite combos, you know?
Yeah, I think that right now the UFC's pretty happy with their setup, and I get it because I don't hate their commentary booths. Like I don't hate them. It's just like there are certain nights where it'll be like Rogan and DC will just. That's my biggest issue. I feel like it's probably Rogan and DC just generally, and when they're a duo, they can either be really fun or the worst commentators ever. In DC, I feel like he's starting to, even on his own with other people, he's starting to become.
You know what? You know how I could kind of compare this, and I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but it almost sounds like if we were doing the commentary, Josh. Like, not gonna lie, it almost sounds like two fans doing the commentary.
Yeah.
That's
the best way to put it. And for some people, that's a bonus.
Yeah,
and some days I like it.
It can be, yeah. I just don't think this was that night, you know? Like I said, respect to the fighters, respect to DC, respect to Paul Felder, respect to John Anik, but this, I don't know. I just thought a little bit over dramatization. There's a little bit of, Yeah, Lauren Murphy's very clearly losing, but I don't think it has to be like fully put out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this fight is over. It just should be stopped. Stop the fight. Like, I get it. I obviously understand it, but I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know what I could ask more out of them, but it just wasn't I don't know, just unsatisfied.
Yeah.
It's not the first time I've had my gripe with DC on the show, though, Josh.
We've talked about this in the past. About how sometimes they'll just like, for example, like, this is just for example, I can think off the top of my head. Jan O'Malley. You remember, like, whenever we watched that, and it was just like, oh, Jan, we got the takedown. Like, this is huge. He's got the takedown. He's doing nothing with it, but, he's winning this fight right now. Like people, like, they wonder why fucking fans are uneducated about stuff, because they're not even fucking educated. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of just two bros hanging out, and at times that can be fun, but, like, they say a lot of stupid shit, and especially DC and Rogan. Like, and that's why fucking even Dom Cruz called them out, like, a year or two ago, I don't know, man. I think we spent enough time on it, but yeah, I thought commentary was pretty bad on Saturday.
Like I said, I just think they need a new person, someone to add a little bit, and I don't know, bring a new look. I think that's what they need. I mean, who was the last person they added was who? Was it Paul Felder or Bisping?
I think it was
Paul. Well, Felder, Paul full time, right? Because he had been doing it in and out, right, for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think Paul became full time until
until he retired, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. But we'll see. Hopefully they change some stuff up. But in the opening fight of the card, this last one we got to go and knock out of the way. Dude, Johnny Walker. I mean, we talk about a guy who has had some ups and downs. Came in firing, but lost a couple fights here and there. Had a rough streak. Got knocked out by Jamal Hill. We're like, oh shit, he might be out of the UFC soon. Back-to-back demolition jobs. Just easily dispatched the Incredulaba. And Paul Craig, easy knockout win. What are your thoughts?
I mean, run the clip. I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. I mean, look, this was to be expected, Josh. Can you tell me you imagine this fight going any other way? No disrespect to Paul Craig, right? Once again, gotta give my dues. But I mean, what outcome did you see besides this, Josh? I expected him to get finished early on in the first round. I did not think this fight would see the scorecards. I thought it was going to look. Maybe fucking Johnny Walker makes a mistake, jumps into his guard, gets submitted for a second round. Either that or fucking Johnny Walker finishes in the first. Most likely, maybe the second, but I'm assuming the first.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew that this fight was going to be a tale of, what is it? It was either going to go easily lopsided in either direction, and it just so happened to be Johnny Walker's night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Paul Craig got him down, I mean, it could be GG, but he couldn't get him down, he got knocked the fuck out. That's kind of the way it was always going to go, And I feel bad for Paul Craig, man, but at the same time, Johnny Walker, he goes out there, he wins, and guess what he does, Angel? He brought back the worm, my guy. He brought it back, So happy for him, man. Who do you think he should fight next?
Oh, man, let me pull up the power rankings here that I'm looking at. I have them here already. Oh, man, so he's right. They haven't been updated, have they? Or did they just get updated?
They will be updated in a couple of hours.
No. Paul Craig just went down, too. I'm pretty sure it got updated. Okay, well, Johnny Walker's sitting at Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith's waiting in the wing. Johnny Walker didn't take a lot of damage. Let's run it back. Anthony Smith needs an opponent here in a few, weeks, months?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Boom. There you go.
There you go. I think that, I mean, I like that. Let's run it, baby.
I like that, too. Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'm assuming I do Krylov or Anthony Smith's Krylov, but I think it's one of those three guys in any combination. And then sometime soon in the next few days, we'll see Glover out of the rankings because he's still in them as of now. Dustin Jacoby just moved in at 15 again. I think because he was out of them. I don't know. I guess he's already in them. I don't know what's going on here. But we'll see who comes in.
Yeah, I mean, I like both those matchups, honestly, man. I think Johnny Walker is the ultimate guy where now that he's back on the right track, I'm excited to see what he does. If he can just maintain this level, you know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to watch. If he just maintains this level where he's currently at, and continues improving. Like, he does have the size and the skill, and he can fucking crack too. It's gonna be interesting, but anyways, man. As far as the undercard goes, there were some fun moments and a whole lot of fucking finishes too. But what fights do you most want to talk about from the undercard?
I mean, we gotta kind of talk about these guys together, Josh. The Bonfim brothers. Holy fuck, they came out of nowhere. I did not do my research enough on these kids. I saw them. I saw the names. I was like, okay, interesting. I don't know anything about them. Fucking both got finishes, both in fucking unique and devastating fashion. On Terrence McKinney, Munir Lazzez, who, man, I got a feel for Munir Lazzez, man. His introduction into the UFC was such a fun fight to me. I love that first performance. Hasn't been able to kind of fully recreate that since then. Lost to Warley Alves. He got a win over Angelo Zula. Obviously just got submitted by Gabriel Bonfim, but just how it goes. And we got to talk about T-Rex, who we saw in good spirits afterwards. He was actually hanging out with Ismail. I think they were drinking by the pool the day after. So, no hard feelings, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, by the way, did you see the shit Barstool said? That whole shit?
I saw that Terrence responded. I didn't see exactly what the response was.
So, they were one of their writers, Jack. I can't think of his last name. Doesn't really matter. I don't give a shit about the Barstool people. But anyways, it was one of the guys picked against Terrence, and Terrence made a joke like it's all good. They picked against him in like the replies of
I remember
one of his tweets. He said
I saw this.
Yeah, and he said it's all good. Barstool doesn't actually know about sports, so it's okay. I thought that was funny. And then Terrence lost, and then they posted Terrence McKinney, who said Barstool Sports doesn't know anything about sports, is knocked out at UFC 283. And I'm like, what a bunch of fucking losers, man. Like, this is my always advice. To any aspiring media people out there, first of all, don't take the job. Second of all, don't make the story about yourself. Like, that's the first rule, And then thirdly, don't talk shit about people's fighting ability. That can most definitely fuck you up. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the dumbest shit to me. Like, do you think you'd do better against fucking one of the Bonfim brothers than fucking Terrence McKinney, my guy? Like, come on, man. Like,
something, Josh? Sign me up. No, I was kidding.
Sign you up? Oh shit! All right,
well, I'd almost get. Honestly, you saw how long that fight took to take. Cut that down by like 95%. That's how long it takes them to finish me. Maybe even 98 on a good day, or on a bad day.
Yeah, man. Definitely an interesting story there, but yeah, just fucking stupid. But yeah, I gotta give credit to those two brothers. We gotta go and talk about Shogun Rua because, oh my god, the most predictable thing happened. He was fucking battered and knocked out in the first round by Ilho Pateria. Shocking. There was no way to expect that was gonna happen. And then his boy did a Fortnite dance afterwards. But beyond the fight, I have zero interest in discussing this fight. Honestly, but
he retired. I mean,
we need to talk about Shogun retiring. Give me your thoughts on him deciding to hang it up, and ultimately the impact. Because I said it last week. I mean, you're talking about one of the baddest motherfuckers to ever step in this sport, man. I mean, this Shogun Rua is true, absolute legend, man.
I mean, dude, for a period of time from Josh, what was it like? From 2002 to 2000, what? Fucking 7? He was the most dangerous man on the planet. I'd
argue he was even probably smaller amount of time than that. Probably like 2002 to like.
Well, you could probably tighten the frame, but it was.
Yeah, you tighten the frame. I'd say probably from like 2002 to like 2006 maybe. And I even think he lost in that time span to like.
But still, though, that's only one loss.
I don't know. Yeah.
He lost to Mark Coleman or some shit like that. Regardless, though, I mean. Fuck me, dude. What a fucking sick career. I mean, he's fought since we've been alive, Josh.
Essentially, yeah. 2002 was his debut.
And he's fought everybody.
Yeah, 42 fights.
New and old, dude. New and old, and fuck, man, 12-1 in Pride. I mean, that's fucking impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Only lost to Mark Coleman in Pride. I mean, that's. Fuck, dude, that's so sick. And the fucking Mark Coleman was a fucking unit back then too. So.
Well, in that fight, he only lost because of
his arm broke. Yeah,
his arm broke. Yeah.
So I mean, even then, that could have been fucking avoided, right? Well, not avoided, but who knows how Who knows how the fight plays out, right?
49 seconds in, breaks his arm on trying to stuff a takedown. I mean, crazy. But anyways, he's a fucking legend, dude. An absolute beast of the game. And dude, this is the thing that I've been like trying to stress to people, that to kind of like tell people about how badass Shogun Who is, dude. Like, I've been watching MMA, and I've been watching MMA for like over a decade now. Like I said, I kind of got into it after UFC 141, which I believe was Lesnar over him, and then I got hardcore hooked at Jones Cormier. That's kind of my fandom. That's my fandom story in a nutshell. Since I've been watching MMA, Shogun Who has been old. Like, he's old since I've been watching. And he's just now retiring. Like, his knees have been fucked forever. He's lost a lot of explosiveness, but yet he's just such an old, gritty veteran that he's won fights, and we're not that far removed from him having like a pretty decent win streak. Just absolutely crazy that he was still fighting up until now. I hate this booking. I've said that a million times, and then, we knew it was going to happen. But, first round knockout for Ilya Peteria, so good for him.
By the way, dude, fucking Shogun, meanest soccer stops in all of MMA, right?
100%.
I mean,
100%.
Fucking savage.
Yeah, absolutely savage. Speaking of savages, Bruno Ferreira. God damn. I mean,
this guy's a fucking unit, by the way. He looks like, he reminds me of not necessarily same, I don't know, same kind of vibe in there, kind of like this juggernaut is Paulo a little bit. Not, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just like a physical, presence. Obviously maybe he doesn't seem as shredded or as cut, but you know what I mean? There's like, I don't know, there's this aura.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta go ahead and, he was one of the biggest underdogs on the card, or the biggest underdog on the card?
Which is wild, because he had won every fight in the first round before this. And is still winning every fight in the first round.
Yeah, if I knew that, look, I'll admit it, I was kind of detached from this card. Like, I was just kind of like, admittedly going through the motions for some of these other prelims fights. I just don't really pay attention to them until it's like, oh, like they're killing it, so now I gotta pay attention to this guy. If I knew this motherfucker had won every single fight in the first round, those plus 900 odds would have looked way spicier than I thought they were, even then, like.
Same, dude, like I told you. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm sure some people would be like, well, don't you guys fucking watch the dude, look, you know how many fucking fighters there are on the UFC roster? Sometimes there's people I bring up that you motherfuckers don't even know, So,
yeah, this is literally like.
But it's nice to learn though. Now we know who to keep an eye on, motherfucker. Watch me. That's nice. This is the kind of statements you like to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely I don't know, man. It was a hell of a win. You got to give him full props. Probably like one of the biggest. It was the biggest upside of the card, but he moves to he's still undefeated. And in hindsight, I had shit. I regret not betting on it, put it like that. But
same.
Yeah.
I would have too. I would have if I knew. I would have been like, better not.
Exactly.
I put on Gregor Rodriguez, but I learned my lesson.
Right. Also on the undercard, our boy Thiago Moises picking up a submission win, back-to-back wins for him. Only 27 years old, which just does not seem real to me, considering he's been in the UFC for like 6 years, 7 years. I had no idea how young he was when he got in, but
he's rallying back, man, which is nice to see.
Really, honestly, couldn't be happier for that kid, dude. He's the definition. Like, there's a lot of guys who say they'll fight anybody. There's also a whole lot of fake tough guys in the UFC. You know what I mean? Like, everybody says they'll fight everybody, but Thiago Moises will actually fight everybody. He's scheduled to fight Guram Kudladze in this one. Nobody wants to fight Guram. He fought Joel Alvarez. Still will continue to fight him after he missed weight by like 5 pounds. He fought Islam Makhachev. Nobody would have fought Makhachev. Like Alexander Hernandez, Bobby Green, Michael Johnson, Damir Ismagulov, Benil Dariush. This guy's
By the way, out of all those people too in recent time, probably had one of the better performances against Islam too. It's kind of crazy.
Took his back, had some moments.
Yeah, at 27 years young. Imagine 4 more years. Maybe if they rematch, who knows what could happen, right?
Exactly.
I'd be granted though that's a 4-year older Islam, but at the same time though, imagine what a 4-year older Islam could gain too.
That's true. But this motherfucker, dude, this guy's been going trial by fire. So, fuck me. 27 years old and that resume.
But Josh, if you look at it though, that's the guys who have been forged in the UFC who have become. I mean, think about Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier. You know what I mean? Some of those guys were fucking forged in the UFC, dude. Who had all their fights were against dogs. You know what I mean? Every fight was hard. Every guy was not easy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They just, and fucking Charles Oliveira too. You know?
Yeah.
Been in it since they were young. I mean that is the guys who like down the line, those hard ass fights, those fucking camps, the fucking long ass win streaks you got to get on, pay the fuck off. I mean that's what it takes. And Thiago Moises, I'm not saying he's going to be that guy, but he could be.
Yeah, I mean he's a guy that's very, very interesting to me. He's a guy to keep an eye on. If maybe you're somebody who's listening to this show and you're like, oh, I don't pay much attention to like. Maybe not like headliners or top guys because like Thiago Moises, he's a bad motherfucker, man. He's a bad motherfucker. He's been around for a long time, and it's crazy to me that like this kid's this young, and he's like I ran down his resume a minute ago. Just imagine like 27 years old. That's fucking crazy. So, anyways, man, hell of a win by him. Happy to see him back in the win column, back to back. We'll see if he can get a big matchup next. But, anyways, Jailton Almeida finally faced Shamil Durhimov, and it went the way we expected, man. Arguably the greatest guy in MMA right now in terms of like pure prospects.
Man, him and Muhammad Mokaev, my guy. But he's going a little harder though. He's kind of speedrunning this shit. I mean, how many fights is that in a calendar year? It's a lot. I mean, let's look at this right now, dude. February 5th of last year, first win. Parker Porter, fucking what is that? May, Antun Turakaji, November, and then January, Shamil. I mean, that's an active year, dude.
Yeah, very, very active. I mean, he's a guy. What's his stat? I think he broke Hamzat's record, dude.
For what?
For like
these punches absorbed?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Well, I think technically, because like it's a different record, because I think it's like last 4 fights, and they're included, like, the Hamzat went up a lot because of the fucking, the Burns fight, so that's why it's a bit different, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he did break the record. I mean, he's been dominant. He's interesting to me because I expect him to, like, whichever division he wants, really, I expect him to win in. Like, to become, like, a ranked guy and just whatever he wants to do at either light heavyweight or heavyweight, I expect him to do. You know what I mean? Like, he has not.
Everywhere.
He's has not even just, like, been unbeaten. He has not won a fight by finish in 5 years. Every single fight for the last 5 years, he's not only won, it's been a finish before the 3rd round.
That's some shockbot numbers right there.
That's fucking insane.
I mean, obviously, David Shockbot's never lost a fight, which is scarier, but still scary.
Yeah, man.
Who do you want to see him fight, Josh? Actually,
Jailton?
Who do you want to see Jailton fight at 205 and 265?
Well, let me pull up the rankings, my guy. I kind of want to see the UFC just say fuck it and do the rare thing and actually, like, push somebody in 2 divisions.
Oh, dude, Ryan. I'd like to see him fight Ryan Spann.
I'd be down for...
Or Vulcan.
I think... Shit. Where was... Okay, so he just got ranked at heavyweight 14. He's gonna go down to light heavyweight next. I think Vulcan would make sense. He's coming off a win. He has good takedown defense. Veteran at this point. Heavyweight, I want to see... Oh, my God, Angel. Can you imagine? I don't want to see him do it because it's too early in their careers, but could you imagine if they did Jailton versus Romanov? Oh!
I don't...
Oh!
Romanov coming off a loss? No.
Oh, I mean... Yeah, but that was a really close fight, though.
Dude, if Marcin Tybura wins, I think Hassan Almeida should fight him.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
That, or fuck it, dude. If Volkov's available, give him Volkov.
Mm-hmm.
Or Jairzinho at that. They're just coming off 1 win, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but you know what I mean. There's a lot. I mean, he has a lot to work. I mean, he can move up quicker in heavyweight. than he could at 205. I will say that. In my personal opinion. I don't know if you disagree with that. But
No, I don't know, man. I'm down for whatever he wants to do, personally.
I think you could fast track in 265.
I think you could absolutely fast track him at 265 and 205. Fuck it.
Do we know if
But
he
both
has
those divisions are weak as fuck, man. We just saw Jamal Hill win.
God, Josh.
Jamal Hill was fucking like unranked a year ago, man.
Do we know if he has a preference? Like, is he just doing?
I haven't seen
he wants
him
extra
say
fight.
anything. Yeah.
Dude, at one point you fought at middleweight, by the way. It was early on in his career, and then he made up the move to light heavyweight. I wonder if he's. I don't know. I wonder if he's just wanting to bounce back and forth, or maybe he kind of like is taking these opportunities because he's, he has a chance and is making money. Which, by the way, Houghton has made some fucking good money. I mean, he got a $50K bonus this fight, and if he had a 4-fight deal, he's due to fucking renew his contract too. So, not a bad deal, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm happy for him, man. I really, really am.
Yeah.
Interested to see what he does next. As far as the rest of the card goes, man, this is probably the longest recap we've ever done, Angel. We've been going for 55 minutes. So I think we should probably speed it up a little bit. Nicholas Dolly picked up a win.
I mean, Josh, there's no fucking MMA this weekend, dude.
That's true.
Don't lie to the fans, Josh. We
got a lot of news, though. We got a lot of news.
I know, but we'll fly through that.
Angel, I got a deadline. to hit. I got to get out of here. No, but
you got time, motherfucker.
I know. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, Nicholas Dolly picked up a win. Happy for him. I was dude, I mean, don't fight in Brazil if you're not Brazilian. That's all I'm going to say. The fact that was a split decision, I mean, fuck off. But Cody Stamon picked up a win. Solid win for him. And
Did you
then
watch that
Josie
fight?
Nunes. Huh?
Did you watch the Cody Stamon fight?
I did.
Dude, that was a good performance. I like that fight a lot.
Yeah. He's a guy that's so interesting to me because he's like the perfect gatekeeper, I feel like. And I hate to say it because like that's kind of like some people think that's like an insult, but like if you look at his resume, I mean, he beat this kid who I believe is very young in his UFC career. Prior to this, he faced Eddie Wineland whenever Eddie was like on the verge of retirement. Saeed, when Saeed was coming up, Marab when he was coming up, Jimmy when he was like, kind of like a veteran trying to get back into title contention. I mean, he's the perfect gatekeeper. I know it's not what a lot of people want in their career, but like,
yeah,
not a bad place to be in either.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, I just want to bring him up because he's an interesting guy, man, because he cuts a lot of weight for what? I know that for a fact. I mean, I forgot. He's one of those, I remember seeing one of those stats of like rehydrations, how much got weight in, and he had like a substantial percentage. If I remember, I mean, he was up there with Michael Chandler, if I remember right. I think he might have even been above Michael Chandler, which is even crazy. And on top of that, his actual fight style, Josh, he moves a lot. Like, fucking a lot. His movement is really fun to watch. I actually find him really entertaining to fight. Or watch him fight.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. He's a very fun guy. But I want to go and I want to give a shout out to a fight I did not expect to be like as fun as it was. Josie Nunes taking on Zara Farn dos Santos. Zara Farn, dude, like, her first couple of UFC fights, her just getting absolutely annihilated. She gets the call back here, taking on somebody who's a foot shorter than her. Now, granted, she did lose, but it was a fun fight, man. I mean, Josie Nunes said she wanted a title shot. I don't think it was a title shot worthy performance, but very fun fight, man. I mean, did you catch that one?
I have funny enough. This is like one of the few fights I missed. I wanted to watch it.
It's a fun fight, man. It was much funner than I expected. But
I picked her to win.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, you see how much size matters, dude.
No, she's Mini Tyson, bro. She's Mini Tyson.
Yeah, man. You really got to see how much size matters, though, because like Zara Farm was beating her ass in the first round, but she gassed out. Mainly just because Josie Nunes is just apparently unstoppable.
I wonder if Josie Nunes will ever make a weight change. But I mean, pretty sure she's fought at this weight her whole career, though. She fought Talia Santos. Only loss is Talia Santos' decision.
Damn, and Talia Santos is a dog. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, this is a fun card, man. This is a really fun card. The UFC, it was obviously the first pay-per-view back of 2023. They put on a fun show, and but no UFC this week, though. Sadly, next UFC card is UFC Korea, but because they're fucking lazy, they just have to put it in the Apex, but put the show at Korean time because that's what everybody wants. Yeah. Anyways, that's February 4th, which by the way makes up a stacked day because I believe Fedor Emelianenko's final fight against Ryan Bader will be on the same day, and
we'll be in Chicago for that. Courtside
Soundoff media members. But anyways, man, I think it's about time to move on to news because during UFC 283, Jose Aldo, by the way, he's had a rough news month, I guess I'd say. You know, like Jair Bolsonaro was in the minion room, you know, fucking wandering around. Dude, I gotta admit it. Just a quick update. If you guys have not kept up with the news, there's like videos of Jair Bolsonaro like just being caught out in the wild in Florida, just him wandering around like fucking KFC, fucking just grocery stores, and it kills me every single. There was one of him like playing VR at Jose Aldo's house.
Playing VR?
Yeah, and I think the funniest part was I think it was on the same day of their own January 6th. So there are people getting arrested. They're like, we'll fucking die for this cause, and he's playing fucking VR boxing.
By the way, I had my first VR experience. Holy fuck, dude, that shit is so fun.
Really? Like when? Dude.
Like a few days. I think Saturday. I went to a friend's house because I was helping with some shit, dude, and I turned on the fucking the metaverse headset, dude. Bro, that shit is really the future, bro. It was so fun. I was like, dude, you could be in here for hours.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think I tried it once at SoPro once, and I was like, this kind of freaks me out.
It's gotten so much better.
I know, because that's the last time I did it. So I've been thinking about investing into VR, just buying a fucking.
Dude, shit ton. I'm thinking about spending the $300 to get it.
That's how I feel about it too. But I gotta be honest with you. Everybody talking about like this game, that game. I really just want to play Half-Life. I really want to play Half-Life Alyx. And I know that there's mods out there for me to be able to just like play it normally without the VR headset, but I feel like that's like kind of devaluing the experience, you know?
I gotcha.
But anyways, and because I guess that's all Valve will fucking make now is VR games. So whatever. It's not like they're gonna fucking update TF2. But anyway, anyways, back to Jose Aldo.
Come on, dude, cosmetics?
Don't get me started, Angel. Anyways, yeah, Jose Aldo, I mean, thoughts on him being inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, and also a double announcement. He will be boxing on February 10th, or 11th, I believe, in Brazil. I mean, that'll be broadcast on UFC Fight Pass, so give me your thoughts.
Who's he going to be boxing, though?
No clue.
Oh, well. I was curious, Josh. God damn, dude. It's just like, fuck, no, I start freaking out. But, shit. I mean, look, is it a surprise? No. I mean, Josh, it's to be expected. I mean, Jose Aldo's a fucking legend of the sport. I mean, goated in the GOAT conversation at all times. One of the greatest to ever compete in MMA ever. I mean, he is that guy.
What are your thoughts on him deciding to go ahead and continue competing, though? Like, going over to boxing. Is that something you're down with?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, he's not a guy who's getting knocked the fuck out, you know? I mean, as long as he wants to do it and it's something he's always wanted to do, why not? Do what you want to do, follow your dreams.
Yeah, that's fair. Kind of interested to see what happens, man. I'm very interested to see on how far he actually does want to take it. Because if there's a guy that, like, if I had to pick one guy to go, like, to go over from MMA to boxing, he might be that motherfucker, man. Like, he's really good. Like, as far as, like, just pure boxing technique. If there's a guy, it might be Jose Aldo. So I'm interested to see how far he wants to take it. Because it seems like he's not taking it like the other MMA fighters that do it. He's not trying to go in and cash out and fight Jake Paul or do whatever the fuck. He actually wants to box. So that will be interesting. But anyways, man, happy for him to finally be inducted to the Hall of Fame. Hopefully they can fucking somehow induct Anderson Silva at some point. It's not like he retired 3 years ago. Yeah, anyways, man, I mean, speaking of people that have retired, because retirement and MMA just does not mean shit. Luke Rockhold retired after beating Paulo Costa. He had, like, almost a picture book ending to his career. Like, it is so fucking rare to have a guy that goes out like Luke Rockhold does, like we talked about it, facing Paulo Costa, war of a fight, huge underdog, yet still comes out and shows why at one point in time, like years before, he was the best motherfucker on the planet. Well, he's a free agent. He's out of retirement. He said he's looking at PFL, Bellator, one championship, fucking boxing. Like, he's looking at every jiu-jitsu, combat jiu-jitsu. He's looking at it all. Thoughts, man? Because I feel like Luke Rockhold, on one hand, he did have the perfect retirement. On the other hand, he showed facing a guy much younger than him, a guy that was ranked, fought for the title recently, and he took him to the limit. So he still has that dog in him. So, what do you think, man?
Do your thing, King. Do your thing.
Where do you want to see him go, though?
And I just want to see Luke compete, man. Sometimes it just comes down to that. There's very few guys where I think I could really specify stuff like that, where I'm like, I want to see him here specifically or there specifically. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like he's Jamie and Mai. If it was Jamie and Mai, I'd be like, oh, I want to see him compete in jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm down to see him do anything. I mean, honestly, he seems like a guy that, I saw his interview with Helwani about it, and he kind of, he pretty much went ahead and said, he seemed like he was at peace with his career. And at this point, he just kind of, he knows that his prime has passed. He just wants to go fuck some people up, and I'm like, you know what? Good for you, Luke. Go fuck some people up, man. Have some fun, man. Do some experimental shit, Totally down for it. So, anyways, man, I don't know where he'll land. I think PFL would make sense, considering they have all that money, and also, he can join the pay-per-view division. He can, PFL seems to be the most attractive option. But I know Bellator's making some moves, too. I don't have them in the rundown, but, they're making some big moves. They're going to be on CBS. They just re-signed two of their biggest young stars, McKee and Vadim Nemkov. I heard, fucking knock on wood, I've heard some rumblings that they're in talks with Ngannou specifically with Showtime on board to have him box on Showtime as a dual part deal, you know what I mean? Bellator making some moves, so maybe don't count out Luke. He also fought under Coker and Strikeforce, so it's a fun time to be an MMA fan, man. It's a very fun time because, it may not be the best time to be a UFC fan, but if you're a fan of combat sports, everywhere is popping right now, and that's what's fucking fun, you know what I mean? So, speaking of other promotions, dude, Sage Northcutt. I don't even remember the last time we discussed Sage Northcutt on the show. When
he was going to make his first comeback.
Yeah, probably didn't say Aoki, but anyways, he will be fighting, first fight in 4 years.
You want me to fuck you up real quick, Josh?
Go ahead.
Sage Northcutt is only 26 years old still.
I don't understand how the fuck? Jesus Christ. So that's right. He was in the UFC whenever he was 18. Yeah, okay. Well, that's fucking crazy. Anyways, but yeah, he'll be competing against, he'll be competing on the one, Fight Night 10 card, which is actually their US debut on Amazon with, DJ versus Adriano Moraes 3 in the main event. And he'll be facing a guy, I can't think of his name right now, but solid dude, 3-5 winning streak. Killing me right now, I think of his name. He's been taking Ahmed Mujaba, aka the Wolverine. He's won 2 or 3 fights in a row. Decent guy as far as one's lightweight division goes, so it'll be fun to see that fight, man. I'm really hoping the best for Sage. Super Sage still has a lot of talent, and I feel like people forget that before he went to one, he was on a 3 or 4 fight winning streak in the UFC, and they offered him a lot of money in a main event against a ranked guy for his first fight back, and he took the gamble and decided that he could maybe go fight in one and get some more money from the UFC somewhere down the line, and then instead he got knocked out, broke 8 bones in his face, and has not competed since. So it'll be interesting to see what he does in his return and how he competes. Any other thoughts on Super Sage coming back, man?
I've waited a long time for this return, Josh.
You've just been anxiously awaiting ever since he got knocked out the first time.
Dude,
because you wanted to see it again.
No, not even. Dude, this motherfucker got married in that time.
Yeah, he's married to an actress who has been in a lot of shit actually.
Really?
So that's kind of fun. I didn't even know until yesterday. So good for him.
Interesting.
But anyways, man, I think we should keep on rolling along because Floyd Money Mayweather, hell of a fighter, hell of a competitor. Money May, all that. Anyways, he announced he was going to be fighting Liam Harrison from one championship Muay Thai guy. That did not happen, and because I guess he either had to pull out due to injury or they never even signed to fight him, but he had a verbal agreement and he got hurt or something. I don't know. He'll be fighting Aaron Chalmers. For the unaware, Aaron Chalmers he's on Geordie Shore, or he was on Geordie Shore. He fought in MMA.
By the way, Josh, can you explain to people what that is?
Geordie Shore is essentially the version of the Jersey, for the unaware, for the uninitiated.
This is why I want you to mention this.
For the uninitiated, Geordie Shore is the Jersey Shore of the UK, from my understanding.
And this way more out there.
Way more out there. It sounds like you're a Geordie Shore fan. You want to let people know?
Dude, I've never seen it, but I've heard. I've heard of how out there it is.
Well, I mean, it's so out there that as a part of the show, he's going to fight Floyd Mayweather.
Wait, as part of the show?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, I was going to say, what the fuck? I was going to say, that actually kind of makes it interesting if they are.
No, I'm joking. But,
Well, Josh, you just ruined a whole potential marketing scheme.
Fuck. But, anyways, yeah, I mean, he's a guy that fucking went like 5-2 in Bellator and, BRB actually. Okay, I'm back. Aaron Chalmers, Angel. Aaron Chalmers, have you seen any of his Bellator fights, by the way?
I have not, but I did see he went 5, like you said, 5-2 or whatever it was. Which I was like, that doesn't look bad.
Yeah, he's not bad actually. He's got some hands. He's been training since like 2016, 2015. He won his boxing debut last June. I mean, Angel, any interest in Geordie Shore star Aaron Chalmers boxing Floyd Mayweather?
Fuck no, dude. This shit is sad.
Fuck no?
No, dude. This is terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
What did they just have, like, all the Geordie Shore cast members eventually fight Floyd Mayweather? Would you be down for that instead?
Dude, no. Floyd needs to actually get, like, an actual interesting, fun matchup. Like, not these fucking random dudes. I'm sorry. I think it'd be more interesting if you put me in there.
I agree. So if they need somebody.
If they need someone, I mean, look, I probably won't make weight. But I'll be there. Give me that money fight, John.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I think it's weird. I think that yeah, man,
there's not a lot to say, dude. Don't even mention it, dude.
It's just Floyd. He's hurting for money. That's all I gotta say. He must be hurting for money. I know that sounds insane to some people, but if you look at the way that guy lives, and considering the fact that IRS has already come after him, like, yeah, there's a reason why there's no more promoters attached to these fucking exhibitions. Nobody cares. I don't even think this one's going to be broadcast, or at least if it's going to be broadcast, there's no broadcaster attached. Global Titans is done. They're not promoting this. This is not promoted by them. It's not going to be on DAZN. Showtime doesn't give a fuck. These things are just existing within their own universe, basically, where nobody gives a fuck. So, that's my thoughts on it. And I hate that for my job I will have to inevitably discuss this and write about this. Because I'm so fucking done with Floyd. Because these things are not interesting, nor are they compelling. They're not even fucking fun from an entertainment factor. It just exists. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're absolutely right.
It's the fucking Floyd Mayweather's last, like, his exhibition fights are like the equivalent of, like, if there was, like, I'm gonna lay this out, and I can't think of a specific example, but, like, it's like if there was, like, a beloved movie franchise that in, like, 2010 or, like, 2015, they just stopped making movies, and then, like, last year they released, like, some straight to DVD bullshit. That is what Floyd Mayweather's exhibitions are. They're the straight to DVD bullshit. You know what I mean? Where nobody cares, nobody buys it. But for some legal reason, probably just to protect the copyright, like, rights, they're making a movie, you know? That's Floyd Mayweather's exhibition. So, no interest in this one. at all whatsoever. Anyways, man, I mean, in terms of actual fights, UFC 285 is continually adding fights and some high profile ones too in the process, man. I mean, this one's not confirmed, and I've heard through the grapevine this one may not actually land on this card, but Amanda Nunes, Irene Aldana attached to the card. We do not know if it's absolutely not done yet, and I've actually heard that it may not be Irene Aldana. It may be somebody else than Amanda Nunes will be fighting UFC 285, but nonetheless, seems like Nunes will be added to the card. Also, this one is confirmed. Valentina Shevchenko, flyweight champion, taking on ELYXR, who is on a solid winning streak, man. Give me your thoughts on each of these matchups, and were they the right call? Because personally, I'm not super hype on the Irene Aldana one.
I mean, what's it called? Valentina Shevchenko kind of, and ELYXR kind of came out of nowhere, you know, because they announced Aaron Blanchfield and Talia Santos before this. So it kind of seemed like, okay, title eliminator, right? No, I guess their timeline did not match up however they wanted to. Maybe they wanted this fight a little sooner, or they wanted Talia Santos back a little quicker. Who the fuck knows, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, good luck to ELYXR. She's got a tough task ahead of her. I mean, she's kind of looking like she's going to put a lot together. She had actually wanted one. I think wasn't it this last fight that she said she wanted one more fight before the title?
She wanted one more main event to get her cardio down to, like, be prepared for 5 rounds, is what she said.
And then she said, fuck that. You're fighting Valentina.
Yeah, they've really fucked that, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, in terms of the Grasso choice, no issues with it. I think she deserves a title shot. The only reason why she would not get a title shot is of her own volition. So that one I don't necessarily have an issue with. I don't necessarily get the Irene Aldana one. I understand she's won 2 fights in a row, I believe.
I mean that's just the state of that division, though, Josh. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, I think even Juliana Pena, a trilogy fight would make more sense. It'd be more interesting.
Yep, they probably should have done that.
But even then, if you're not going to do that, if you want to be like, oh yeah, we don't want to give the shot to give it to fucking, you know, I don't know, the person on the longest winning streak in the division, fucking Rocky Pennington, who just won her 5th fight in a row like 2 weeks ago.
See, I think once again it might be a timeline thing, and they're having a kid.
That's true. That could be it.
So
I don't know, man. I just don't get that. Because not only is Irene Aldana not on like a long winning streak, she's not a big name, and also she's missed weight like 2 of her last 3 fights. It makes this fight makes no sense from every single metric imaginable. Rankings wise, because I think she's like ranked 6 or 7.
Well, funny enough, she didn't miss her last fight. The one who couldn't make weight her last fight was Macy Chiasson, so they fought at catch weight.
Fair enough. But she did miss weight at least like badly recently. I know that.
With Yana, it was for we find out she menstrual cycle, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
well,
there you go. And she made her weight against Holly. There's a fight before. She made weight against Kayla Vieira. Fight before that, and against Vanessa Miller, she made weight. So I don't know. I think she can make the championship weight.
Mm-hmm.
You're not wrong. I do think Juliana Pena should have been given the trilogy fight because one, there's actual interest there. One of those fights, someone actually got finished, and the other one was a dominant performance. But we've seen the vulnerabilities in the armor once. Maybe they could happen again.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, in terms of this is actually kind of interesting because I think in terms of interesting fights, Irene Aldana is actually one of the more interesting challenges for Amanda Nunes. I think her boxing is slick. I think that her ground game is improving. But at the same time, though, I mean, all the factors I just said, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but Amanda's probably physically stronger.
Yeah, I mean, I fully expect Amanda to win. I just think, if everything goes right, she did not miss weight, this could actually be a fun fight. I just don't think she deserves it.
It could be. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you know Irene's going to come out here and give her best, so.
She's a dog, so I expect it. But
that's what I'm saying, so all we can hope for is a very hard, competitive, hard fight. And look, Amanda's older. She's lost recently. So the door's a little open. Someone just needs to take it. Someone needs to grab it. Grab it by the fucking balls.
Mm-hmm. Right? But anyways, man, last bit of news.
Grab it by the fucking balls, Josh.
I knew you were gonna throw one more thing in there, so I waited a minute. But anyways, man,
buy the goddamn balls, Josh.
To buy the goddamn balls, man. No, but anyway, so Creator Clash 2, Angel. In terms of boxing news, real boxing, influencer boxing. Yeah, they revealed the entire card. iDubbbz, Alex Wasabi, friend of the show, Harley Mortonstein, also known as Harley from Epic Mealtime, going to be taking on John Morrison from the WWE. It actually looks like a really fun event. So, and it's going to be going down in April. Give me your thoughts, man.
I mean, I really don't find. I have had no interest in this particular event, this particular promotion.
Interesting. Why?
It just doesn't appeal to me. I think it's just the people they have in it. That's all it is. And iDubbbz going to get the shit beat out of him. He's actually going to get knocked out by Alex Wasabi.
I don't know what you saw against Alex Wasabi against a half alive Deji that made you think that.
Oh, dude, Alex has actually been training for a considerably longer time than fucking iDubbbz is my big thing.
Really? I did not know that.
Dude, Alex
I just saw him against Deji and he did not look that.
Alex has been training since fucking way back when. I think since like after the Deji original loss against Jake.
Oh, well that's interesting then, because he's only had one fight. So
I would say he's only had one fight, but at least as far as experience going through the camp, actually being there, actually practicing the sport, that's what I'm saying. He has like a fucking substantial fucking advantage over the other guy. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough, then that's different. I was not aware of that. So
yeah, Alex.
Well, KSI picked iDubbbz to win.
I mean, you know why?
I know. But yeah, I mean, I think this card is pretty interesting. I'm mainly just excited for my boy Harley to go ahead and he's gonna go 2-0.
They need to sign the Misfits, don't they? Happy Punch Promotions.
Right?
Shut out, Keem.
Yo, I don't know if I actually don't know if it's a great booking for my boy Harley. I mean, it's gonna be it's compelling because he's a lot bigger, and John Morrison, pro wrestler.
You know, wrestler though and boxer are not the same thing.
No, of course not. But he's trained in martial arts for a long time.
I don't know, dude. Ben Ben Askren.
No, I mean like he's actually trained striking for a long time. He trained with Josh Barnett.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. I mean, that's a fucking good coach to have in your corner, bro.
Exactly, right? So, but he's also considerably smaller. He's like 6 inches smaller than Harley.
Holy fuck, that's a lot of height. But at the same time,
I don't even know how much weight, but he's much more experienced. So that's what makes it interesting.
So that's how they're evening. I mean, we'll see. I mean, fucking body isn't everything, as we know.
That's true. But we will see. Any other closing thoughts? Any closing news you want to talk about before we go ahead and dip out of here?
No, nothing. Wait, was this? I just thought about this. Wasn't this the guy who had the sex tape?
No.
I thought this was.
No, not him.
I thought it was.
No.
You can totally see this guy having a sex tape though, Josh.
Oh yeah, totally. But he hasn't, to my knowledge.
Well, that we know of, right?
Anyways, man, yeah, that's all we got, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Shout out to our sponsors once again, Rogue Energy and ELYXR. Code Soundoff for both, 10% off of each. I'm at Josh on Twitter. He's at __01 at Courtside Soundoff for all things related to the show. Shout out to people who have been listening on TikTok and YouTube and Spotify, all that stuff, all that jazz. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace and butt grease. Mouth slick.